If you've ever been pulled over and you hear those words come out of an officer's mouth, "I smell marijuana," you already know how fast a basic traffic stop can turn into something serious. I've seen it happen on the side of Interstate 95. I've watched it unfold in small-town back roads. And I've talked to plenty of law-abiding Americans who had no idea what just happened to them until it was already too late. Today we're going to break this down. Plain English, no fluff, no legal mumbo-jumbo. What's actually happening legally when an officer makes that claim? What your rights really are, and the specific practical steps you need to take to protect yourself. This is not academic information. This is the kind of knowledge that can keep you out of an illegal search, false charges, or a life-altering arrest. Let's start with what's really going on when a cop says they smell weed. For decades, in many jurisdictions, the claimed odor of marijuana has been treated as probable cause. That meant an officer could search your vehicle without a warrant based solely on their own senses. And here's the problem. Smell is subjective. There's no body cam that can record it. There's no sensor reading. There's no way to independently verify it later. It's just the officer's word. From a law enforcement standpoint, that's an incredibly powerful tool. From a citizen's standpoint, it's a dangerous one. Because once probable cause is claimed, your entire vehicle is suddenly fair game. But here's what's changed, and this part is critical. With marijuana legalization and decriminalization spreading across the country, courts have started pushing back. Several state Supreme Courts have ruled that smell alone is no longer enough for probable cause. Why? Because if marijuana or hemp is legal in your state, the odor does not automatically signal a crime. Think about it this way. Smelling alcohol doesn't automatically mean DUI. Someone can legally possess alcohol. Someone can legally possess cannabis in many states. So odor alone does not equal criminal activity. Now, big warning light here. This varies wildly by state. Some states are fully legal. Some are decriminalized. Some allow medical only. Some still treat it as fully illegal. Whether smell alone counts as probable cause depends entirely on where your tires are sitting on the pavement. That means the first rule is simple. Know your state law. Don't rely on headlines. Don't rely on something you heard online. And don't assume what applies in one state applies everywhere else. Now let's talk about what to do when it actually happens. Officer walks up, claims they smell marijuana. First rule, and I mean this with every ounce of experience I've got, stay calm. This is not about guilt. This is not about innocence. This is about control. Take a breath, hands visible on the steering wheel. No sudden movements, no attitude, no roadside debates. Your demeanor matters more than people want to admit. The officer will usually follow up with questions. "I smell marijuana. Have you been smoking? Is there marijuana in the vehicle?" Here's what you need burned into your brain. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to answer incriminating questions. A solid response is polite and firm. "Officer, I'm not answering questions without an attorney present." Or, "I do not consent to any searches, and I'm exercising my right to remain silent." That phrase, "I do not consent to any searches," that matters. Say it clearly. Say it out loud. Even if the officer says they're searching anyway, you still refuse consent. Why? Because if that search is later ruled illegal, your refusal matters in court. If you say nothing or worse, if you say okay or go ahead, you've just handed over your legal shield. Now let's be very clear. If the officer searches anyway, do not physically resist. Do not interfere. Do not block them. Do not touch the officer. That's how people turn a questionable search into resisting arrest or assault on an officer. Instead, remain calm. Repeat that you do not consent, and remember everything. Here's something most people don't realize. A search justified by marijuana odor is supposed to be limited to places where marijuana could reasonably be hidden. In theory. In reality, searches often go way beyond that. Trunk, containers, sometimes phones. Every time that happens, you verbally object. "I do not consent to a search of my phone. I do not consent to that container." You're creating a record. Now let's talk about the uncomfortable scenario. What if there is marijuana in the car? Maybe it's legal, maybe it's medical, maybe it's something you forgot. Here's the advice that saves people. Do not volunteer information. Do not reach for it. Do not point it out. If asked directly and it's legal in your state, you can state that fact. But do not hand anything over and do not consent to a search just because you think it'll go easier. It usually doesn't. Now, field sobriety tests. If an officer claims marijuana odor and suspects impairment, they may ask for tests. Here's where state law matters a lot. Chemical tests, blood, breath, or urine, are often covered by implied consent laws. Refusing those can mean license suspension, fines, and court consequences. Field sobriety tests, the walk and turn, one-leg stand. Those are usually voluntary. Officers often won't tell you that. You can ask calmly, am I required to take these tests or are they voluntary? Those tests are subjective. Hard to perform perfectly. Nerves, lighting, traffic, injuries. They all work against you. Many attorneys advise refusing them. Some don't. That's a decision you should make based on your state law and legal advice. Recording the interaction. In most states, you have the right to record police performing public duties. Your phone can be a powerful tool. If you can safely do so, you can say, "Officer, I'm recording for both of our protection." Some phones allow voice activation. Some apps auto-upload to the cloud. But be smart. If reaching for your phone will escalate things, don't do it. Your safety comes first. If you can't record, remember details. Time, location, exact words used. Reason for the stop. Details matter. If you're arrested, this is where discipline matters. Say it clearly. I am invoking my right to remain silent. I want an attorney. Then stop talking. No explanations. No stories. No friendly conversation. Police can legally lie. They can say cooperation helps. They can say others talked. None of that changes your rights. Once you invoke an attorney, questioning should stop. But you must be clear. Maybe I should get a lawyer is not enough. After the stop, if you were searched, especially if you believe it was illegal, contact a criminal defense attorney immediately. An attorney will analyze the initial stop, probable cause standards in your state, search scope, procedures followed. If the search was unconstitutional, evidence can be suppressed. That's how cases fall apart. Even if you weren't arrested, you can file a complaint. Internal affairs, civilian review boards, it creates a record. Patterns matter. Passengers. Your rights are similar, but slightly different. You still have the right to remain silent. You still can refuse searches of your property. If the driver consents to a vehicle search, the car may be searched. But you should clearly state you do not consent to searches of your bag, backpack, or phone. You can ask, am I free to go? If yes, leave calmly. If no, you're detained. Remain calm and assert your rights. New detection technology. Some departments are experimenting with THC detection devices. They're controversial, heavily debated. Your response does not change. No consent. Invoke rights. Document everything. Let attorneys fight the science later. Prevention matters. If marijuana is illegal where you live, don't risk it, even where it's legal. Don't smoke in the car. Don't drive immediately after. Don't leave it in plain view. Use smell-proof containers. Hemp and CBD can smell the same. That roadside argument is for court, not for the shoulder of the road. Reality check. Police interactions are unpredictable. Some communities face disproportionate scrutiny. Know your rights, but prioritize safety. Protect yourself first. Handle legal battles later. Practice your phrases. Out loud. I do not consent to any searches. I am invoking my right to remain silent, and I want an attorney. Rehearsal matters under stress. Know local laws, too. City and county rules can differ from state law. Do the homework. Finally, why this matters. The Fourth Amendment. The Fifth Amendment. These aren't abstract ideas, they're tools. Tools that separate a traffic stop from a criminal conviction. Every calm assertion of your rights reinforces those protections. Not just for you, for everyone. Before we wrap this up, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what state you're in and whether the smell of marijuana is still considered probable cause where you live. If you've been through a stop like this, or you've seen officers try to push past your rights, share that experience. Those comments matter. They help other Americans understand what's really happening out there on the road. And if you value straight talk explanations from someone who actually understands the Constitution, self-defense law, and how these encounters play out in the real world. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. This channel exists to keep lawful citizens informed, prepared, and one step ahead of government overreach. No hype, no fear-mongering, just facts, rights, and practical guidance you can actually use. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay plugged in, because knowing your rights before the blue lights come on can make all the difference. Stay safe out there.